Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily, I'm breaking down a whole bunch of the Boston Celtics versus Miami Heat Game 7. Game 7, baby! Alex, what are you looking at?
I've got a big call about an AFL team to miss the 8, and I yell about where you were born.
There's also Rate My Multiplayer Props, Game Picks, Best Bets, everything you need for all your punting goodness on a Monday. You better check it out. It's Code Bet Daily. It starts right now. All right, welcome to Code Bet Daily. It is Monday. Oh, geez. May 29. And it's episode 119 of this here Shenanigans. I am your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website. It's called CodeBet. You can find that at codebet.com.au in a surprise twist. It's the website's name. That's where you find it. I'm not joined by the stats guy. We've not heard from him since Boston won Game 6. He might have perished in the Great Boston Bar Fight of New York 2023, perhaps. But we do have Alex Donnelly. Alex, what's going on?
Feeling good. We heard from Stats Guy, from the first time, literally yesterday afternoon, going, "Oh my God, it's the greatest day of my life!" And he's like, I have big news," and he didn't reply for like 3 hours. So we're like, he's dead. He's married. He's getting deported. But no, our very own Stats Guy is going to Game 7 tomorrow in Boston, leaving his apartment in New York to go to Boston. He may not return, but he's going to Game 7.
I've never been more jealous of a 25-year-old who still lives with his parents. So, it's a tough scene, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yes.
In all my travails, I never actually got to Game 7. In person at least. So when we were in Brooklyn with our Brooklyn season tickets, we got a Game 6 at home where the Nets lost to the eventual champions Miami Heat. They beat the Raptors in the round prior to that in Game 7, but that was in Toronto. So, Game 7, there's nothing better in sport.
Yeah, I did see the email chain from Stats Guy begging HR to forward his month of June's pay so he could go to said Game 7.
I like it. I've already given him all my Boston bar recommendations. There's a fair few up there, as you might imagine, but it's very, very fun and very, very cool. Hopefully it makes it out alive.
I think he's doing a FIFO, so he's in trouble.
Yeah, it's going to be
Shout
tough.
out to Stats Guy.
Having done that, it gets rough. Anyway, this is Code Earthquake Daily. That's right. We both survived the great Melbourne earthquake of 2023. No, this is Code Bet Daily. It is what it says on the tin. Codes betting daily. I don't think I'm going to spend too much time on any other code other than the NBA today. So player props, game picks, best bets. That's what we do. Simple as that. I'm here with the junior vice executive of content creation. So let's get stuck in, shall we? I'm just doing the playoff game tomorrow, Alex. Game 7, baby.
No shot. Yeah, I'm going to quickly try and rip through. I've got a State of Origin player prop. I'll talk about the Europa League Final on Thursday, and I'll finish off with a bet in the AFL. I've been talking about this all year, and I was convinced over the weekend as to my permeation, and now I'm going to back it up with some money.
Nice one. Is it that Richmond will miss the top 8 because they're 3-7-1? Or?
No, I said that a month ago, in fairness. But no, this is another team. It's actually Carlton. It's definitely Carlton.
Oh, God damn. Anyway, but how did you go actually with you had a massive article across the news network and on CodeBet about the final day of EPL. How'd you go in the picks there?
Yeah, we went 6 for 10, which was really good. Leicester City getting the job done. Arsenal smacking Wolves. So the big ones for us, for myself, were Brentford beating Manchester City. I flagged earlier on that I think Brentford are going to be very tough to beat at home. I was happy to back Brentford and also the double chance of Brentford and draw. So that was a great result. I said Arsenal would win by over three goals. And I said the Liverpool-Southampton game would be entertaining and we'd have a lot of goals. It ended up 4-4 in a draw, which was absolute scenes. But yeah, ended up with 6 from 10. And we said about a month ago that we thought the relegated teams would be Leicester, Leeds and Southampton. It ended up that way. I did think that Leicester would win and drag themselves out, but a awesome strike in the Everton game in about the 60th minute saved their skin. But early call, I think they'll be in trouble yet again next season. And
I was going to say, it's a bit of a shame. I feel like Leicester City, it's still like a better story. And then like Everton have been around for a million years, obviously. But come on, like let's keep it Leicester City. They won the title, 6 years ago?
7 years ago. But yeah, big night, massive night. Just watching all of the sort of the highlights this morning. It was like a 30-minute package. It was awesome. I'm like, oh my God, Leicester have won. And I haven't seen the Everton one yet. So I was thinking, because I didn't want to look at the results. I'm like, oh my God, Everton going to bottle this. And then they didn't. And as I flagged, Arsenal win when it doesn't matter, winning 5-0. But Granit Xhaka in his last game for the Gunners scoring 2. But awesome night of football. It actually starts again, August 12.
Oof. Not a giant amount of time off, is there?
No.
Love it. All right, let's get into it. Player props, easy one. So to wrap up a couple of quick ones from the weekend, my Micah Sivo and Eels one, that was probably one of my favourite bets from the weekend. That hit pretty easily. He had me sweating, and so did the Eels, but they got through in the end. Buddy, absolutely nothing in a shellacking of Sydney by, Sydney shellacking Carlton on Friday night, and Buddy and Charlie just decided, nah, we're not going to impact the game that much.
But good on Buddy keeping Wiedering quiet. He did a job. The reverse tag.
Not bad. All right, but obviously Game 7, NBA playoffs. I'm literally wearing the Miami hat. I did not even plan that. Jeez, that's not bad. Miami travel up to Boston for Game 7, Alex. This is pretty crazy, pretty gnarly. It's never happened before. Obviously, no one's come back from 0-3.
Yep.
It's 0 and 150 all time.
I said the other day, I'm calling it. It's due to happen. I'm a better. It's due to happen.
I like it. It's so you're telling me there's a chance. But the way we got there, Derek White with his putback with 0.1 seconds left in Game 6. Absolute scenes. It was chaos. It was absolutely unreal. But the only reason Boston were there in that position of needing a putback was because they'd absolutely bottled it down the stretch in that last 5 minutes, scoring a total of 4 points. If I wanted to win Game 6 on the road, I would simply just score more than 4 points in the final 5 minutes of a basketball game, Alex. Simple as that. And then
I'd probably do that too.
They went, that's cute, Jim, because here's an extra 2 points and we win. And you're like, all right, I'll pay that. Well played.
Yeah.
But still, this is such a great setup because no team who's actually come back from 0-3 to even force Game 7, Alex, played at home. They've all been on the road.
Well, it's 100% happening. Just go to your friends at work, take all of your money, and be like, I'm going to put it on Boston at $1.31.
I'd say don't do that because Boston are horrible. And
gamble responsibly.
I'm going to get to Miami in a second, but it's a great setup, obviously. Simple as that. Because you've got elimination game, Jason Tatum, who's gone off. He had 51, obviously, in Game 7 against the Sixers. Absolute chaos.
Yep.
Humbly, I'm one of the greatest basketball players ever. It's like, that's not that humble, but I'll pay it. I think he's one of the best basketball players in the world. It's like,
yeah, fair cool.
51 into Game 7. That'll do it. 35 plus for Tatum. It feels like he had 25 in the first half in Game 6 and then went absolutely MIA. He shot 1 of 9 down the stretch. Dude, he was scoreless in the third quarter. Didn't get going until a couple of free throws late in the fourth. And then just missed a couple of wide open threes as well. Missed a layup where you're like, dude, what are you doing? Are you trying to throw the game? But either way, 35 plus for him is $2.30 with Ladbrokes. If they get over the hump, it's because Tatum does another just like ridiculous elimination game. Tatum, $2.30 feels pretty good value actually, considering that he's gone over 30 basically every game apart from I think it's like 2 or 3 in this entire stretch. Yep. And then there's elimination game Jimmy, Butler. You can actually shop around and actually find a couple of different prices for his 30 plus points. So he hasn't obviously been shooting it well. He shot 5 of 21. Now, an NBA Australia adage, Alex. Yep. I'm no math magician. But if you miss 16 of your 21 shots, I'm not entirely convinced you've had a great game. Yep. But Jimmy Butler still had a pretty great game down the stretch because he scored like 12 of the last 13 points or something for Miami. Thing is, the 30 plus, if you believe in Miami, like it's going to be Butler. But my read on this entire game is that the way Boston win is Butler can do what he wants.
Yep.
As long as they stop literally everybody else. They stop the Mosquito fleet for knocking in threes. They stop Bam. They win. If Bam has a half decent game, if the Mosquito fleet hit a combined sort of 9 threes between them, Miami win.
Yeah.
But Jimmy is the center piece of all of this. Like he's going to have 30. He's going to empty the clip. $2.20 with Bet365. I love that. The thing is, you're in Boston. We've seen Al Horford have a really good Game 5 there as well. Didn't have a great Game 6. 3 plus threes. Huh. Some places don't even carry that market for Al Horford because, I don't know. He's like literally, he's hit the most threes in NBA playoff history for a center.
Yeah.
Which is a very cool stat. Hashtag StatsGuy 2.0. 3 plus threes is $4.60 for average Al Horford. And it's the sort of market where you go, well, if you think Boston can win, how do they get there? And Jason Tatum has a good game. Jaylen Brown has a good game. But they need the dudes like Al Horford standing in the corner going, oh, that was Horford's third 3. He's got 12 points now. Like he's hit a couple of free throws. He had another like weird layup, laughing, and Boston win it because of that. The thing is like Horford looked really off in Game 6. So you can sort of see why maybe they don't have too many of these markets. But I really like it, and I think there's a pretty good case to be made for the over 16.5 points, rebounds, assists as well for Horford.
Yep.
Just at home, there's like that level of familiarity, the level of comfort. And for him, Al, he's a wily old vet. What is he, 36, I think? And he gets another crack at an NBA Finals, another crack at a title. He's going to give it all. In terms of like his threes, he hasn't hit any in the last 2 games, but before that he hit, 5 of 11? So I like that a lot. Give me some Al Horford, 3 plus 3s, $4.60, and the over 16.5 points, rebounds, and assists is $1.90. You can find that across, I think, Better, Ladbrokes, and Bet365 at the moment. So there you go. Some pretty good ones. The other ones as well, to go too deep, like Derek White, Marcus Smart, they've been shooting the lights out. You could probably go for the 2 plus 3s for both of them, but I wouldn't want to go too far ahead of that. Jaylen Brown had a really good game for 6, but his limit, it still feels like the 20 plus points. But I feel like the best value are the Tatum Butler ones, just because you can rely on them at least to show up.
Yeah.
And Horford. There you go. Alex, what about you for your player props?
I'm going to keep mine nice and simple. This will be over in 30 seconds. State of Origin Wednesday night in the Adelaide Oval. Also, shout out to the NRL for going, gather around. That's cute. We'll sell out the Adelaide Oval. No, you didn't. No. They also said, but Jim, there's been too much going on in Adelaide lately. They had Live Golf and Gather Round. No, Adelaide just doesn't care too much about the NRL, which, fair enough. Like, I get it. State of Origin is a spectacle. If I was living in Adelaide, I'd absolutely be going, because State of Origin 100%. Is the best rugby league there is. I am in a blue jumper by pure fluke, but I bleed blue. I am from New South Wales, and for all the nuffies out there who are, you know what? I was born in New South Wales, but I go for Queensland. It's called State of Origin, not State of what I like. You were born in New South Wales. Support them.
Where's your origin? Simple as that.
Thank you. Someone who steps up in State of Origin, despite me yelling about this every year. Latrell Mitchell to score a try. He didn't play any of the games last year, which was not ideal for the Blues. Queensland have an awesome record, let's be honest. They've been smashing us up for the last 15 years. But Latrell Mitchell will score any time. He scored at least 1 try in his past 3 Origin games. He's in great form for the Bunnies. He's $2.90 to score a try. Let's go.
Oh, geez, I really like that. In terms of like their structure and everything, though, like, do you feel like there's anybody else who can sort of maybe step on his try-scoring ability? Like, what do you think?
We've got Josh Adokar there. He's another one who didn't play last year. And then Brian, he always seems to score tries in clubland. So it's sort of that. And then it's like Tom Trebojevic, James Tedesco. Like, these are the key backs for New South Wales. And if they're all up and going, it's just like, oh, look out. Like, their backline is just so much more dangerous than Queensland's. And as Phil, and he'll talk about it tomorrow, is Queensland usually go with these blokes step up for Origin, so we'll pick them. But this year they've gone, let's go for some form, like notably Dane Gagai, who scores tries for fun in Origin, hasn't been picked.
Interesting. I like it. All right. Well, Latrell, at least you know that he's a try-scoring machine. And that sort of everything, that connective tissue, I kind of like it.
He just charges at the line in Origin. Like, he just finds that extra gear. It's what the greats do. Like, Greg Inglis was one who did it. He was an absolute freak scoring in Origin.
Nice. Good stuff, Latrell. Game picks, easy one for me as well. Obviously, we took over-unders here a lot with the game.
Going under.
Will you be right to do so? Because it's a game 7, baby. The crazy thing is when you go, well, the bookmakers have realised that people want to go under. And, it's human nature. We want to see over. It's like, I'll be there.
Jesus, not again.
The vibe, if you look at this, you're just like, hang on a second, 203.
Yeah.
That is a rough over-under, but it makes sense because I think breaking down the numbers, the unders are at about 66% against overs.
The last 3 have been under, haven't they?
And, the last 4 games between the two, we've had 3 go under, but the one that went over was like the sort of weird, massive game 3 blowout, right? So the 3 that the Celtics have won have all gone under, which is pretty weird, but the last 2 games have gone to 207 total points each.
Yep.
And so you have that moment of like, well, 203, and you know what I love talking about when it comes to game 7s? What are they? They're either close or a blowout. Simple as that. They're just an absolute rock fight, or one team smashes the other team by at least 15. So there's actually sort of value to be found there if you want to go Boston 11+, because I don't see Miami winning by 11+, or you go Miami at the line and sort of cover yourself that way. So with this, though, you got to go under. it's just the way that Game 7s operate, I will tell you. So there's basically, to go back in a bit of history here, 112.88. That's pretty rough, but guess what it does? Comes
Get
under.
you under. I'm just doing math.
Warriors Kings, that was 120-100. 196, that was last year in this exact game. Game
That's
7 of
under.
the finals. That's under. 123.90, that's Mavs Suns.
Over.
That was just a hint over. But then you've got 109.81. You've got 103.96.
Under.
And then a couple of other close ones, 115, 111. Which
So
is
the unders are just in front.
Unders are always going to smash in Game 7, so I'm all over that. So you can just shop around. If you look at codebet.com.au, you'll get the best price right there for your unders if you go through the match centers and have a look, and we'll have them all listed out in total. So they're all listed at under 203 at the moment. And I think Bet365 at $1.91.
Top spot are $1.90.
Top spot and Ladbrokes are $1.90. So I like it a lot. I'm going to go the unders. And I think Boston just win. I'll get to that in a second.
Yep.
How about you with your match/game picks?
Yeah, looking to the Europa League Final. It's coming up this Thursday morning, 5 a.m., which I found weird when you said, Alex, bang up a preview for the Europa League Final. I'm like, sure, yeah, okay. And then I realized it was Thursday. Just natural inclination is, this will be this coming weekend. But it's not. Anyway, Sevilla are taking on Roma, and Sevilla have this awesome record in the Europa League, Jim. They are 6 for 6 when they make the finals.
That's my beloved Sevilla.
Yeah. That's your beloved Aston Villa made the Europa Conference League this morning as well.
Pretty stoked. I'm going to buy a kit.
You're going to have to. And then we look at Roma, Jose Mourinho, the special one. He manages them. 26 trophies this man has won over his career. He's won absolutely everything, and Roma won the Conference League last year to make the Europa League. Now, these two teams, Jim, at the moment, they stink. Their form is horrible. Sevilla has won one of its last 4 and has copped 3 red cards in those outings.
Jeez.
And then you have a look at Roma, and my screen's just dead here, but they're like 1 from their last 6 or something like that. Something really stupid, and haven't been scoring many goals at all. They're averaging less than 1 goal a game in their past few, but in fairness, there's been like 4 draws for them. So looking at this and just thinking it's a final tactical affair, Mourinho will just be like, all right, boys, we're just going to play to our system and try and figure this out. I'm going to go with a draw at $2.95, just in the regular time there. I think this one will go to extra time of the teams that sort of, you look at the other finals, like I think Manchester City will do a number on Inter, and West Ham in theirs, they're probably going to win as well in regular time. So I'm going to go with Roma to win on penalties, though. $8.80 with Bet-R. If this goes to penalties, hopefully Paulo Dybala gets up from his injury. He's had an injury concern for the last few weeks, but apparently he's going to be fit for the final. He's the best player on the field. You've also got Tammy Abraham, an ex-Chelsea striker, ironically, an ex-Chelsea dude that scores goals.
As usual.
They've scored, I think, 26 goals between them this season. If they can both be on the field when it goes to penalties, I'm going to be backing them in to get the job done. $8.80 with Bet-R for Roma to win on penalties. And I think to lift the trophy thing, if you want to do that, that's just, you're like, hey, I think this team's going to win. Good old Ladbrokes has just shut down on me. Thank you, guys. Europa League Final, here we go. To lift the trophy, $1.80, $1.91, $1.91 for Roma. Sevilla are $1.80. This should be a bunch of fun. Thursday, 5 a.m.
That's awesome. So your breakdown of this is in today's paper and on
it'll be on the website later today, because I want to dig into some other markets, because our paper is done through Bet-R, but there's also some much more fun with some other markets that other places have available for us to talk about too.
Especially as you get slightly closer to it, rather than doing it 4 days out.
Yes. So it'll be up later. It'll be up later this afternoon, early tomorrow.
Nice one. That's awesome. Yeah, I enjoyed reading that breakdown just because you're like, if it goes to a draw, like considering how badly they're playing. Seems wildly probable. So should be fun. Can't wait. Get best bets. Let's do it. Simple. I think Boston win.
They're $1.30. Thanks, Scoop.
The scoop is Miami to cover plus 7.5. You little ripper. So I talked about this. Games are either blowouts or they're close. I think Boston, so they won despite themselves in Game 6.
Yep.
I think Miami will keep this rock fight. Look, Miami want this to be a bad game. We saw it in the entire series against the Knicks.
Sounds like Tottenham.
They win. They just sort of choke the life out of your team. Boston have just enough talent, though, I think, to just get over the line. And it wouldn't be a giant surprise if this is sort of you're sweating the line because Boston are just holding on and just absolutely just filling their DAX down the stretch. Like they're up 12 and then suddenly it's like a 5-point game. You're like, oh my God, what's happening? if you're a Boston fan. But then Miami maybe miss a couple of shots and then have to foul, and they just cover that line. But Boston win by like 5. And as I said, like most of them sort of come in that 4-point or blowout territory. So I just trust Miami's defense just a little bit more. The thing is, it feels like they really hit it. Like in terms of the win, like if you want to go, as I said, I think it was game 4 or 5, right? One of the ones that Boston won. It's like, again, Boston 11 plus and away you go. I think it might have been game 5 at home. You can sort of try to middle that and go, look, if Boston win, what is it? It's a blowout or it's close. So you go the Boston 11 plus or the Miami plus 7.5 and away you go. So I'd probably lean towards a close game that Boston make their fans absolutely have a heart attack. And that way you're also covered if Miami do pull off just no, we're tougher than you guys. Nice, sucked in. And we then cut to a heartbroken stats guy in the stands at TD Garden. How about you?
Yeah, so over the weekend in the AFL, massive round of upsets. So good luck if you did any well on your tipping. Any well? That sounds right. Doesn't sound right. Anyway, I think I got 5, so shout out to me. One that I was spewing on myself, Jim, and I did mention it in our AFL show, is I defaulted to tipping the Western Bulldogs because, well, they're in good form, and Gold Coast I can't really trust. I got it wrong. Western Bulldogs, they are my bogey team in AFL tipping. I can never get them right. I have a real soft spot for the Gold Coast Suns for some stupid reason. I didn't tip them, and I'm very annoyed at myself. But that loss against the Suns on the weekend for the Western Bulldogs was horrible. Without Liam Jones, they would have been absolutely smashed, taking 10 intercepts throughout the game. And I heard a take overnight going, you know what they should do? They should put Aaron Norton in the back line to help them out. What have I been banging on about the Western Bulldogs all season? What is their one thing that is letting them down despite winning games of football, Jim?
I'm not entirely sure.
Their attack sucks. They are ranked 14th in the league for scoring this season.
Your point is like, they've got too many tools at the front. Right?
Yeah.
Throw lob back.
Why would you take
what are you doing?
Yeah, why would you take your leading goal kicker from the last 4 seasons and put him in the back line? He's the only one taking marks and kicking goals at the moment. Jamara Ugle-Hagen is doing a fantastic job and he's on his way up and he's going to be a gun full forward going forward, but he's not there yet. My overall point is, Jim, the Western Bulldogs are no good. They are absolutely horrible. Before the weekend, they averaged 78 points a game. On the weekend, they scored 77 and got rolled. This is their next 6 games. Geelong, Port, Freo, Collingwood, Swans, and they've got a game against North Melbourne thrown in there. I reckon they're going to struggle to win 3. I'd say they'd probably win 2. Like Geelong, we said that on the weekend. Geelong aren't going much good at all. Like we did say Giants at the line was a phenomenal bet. Hell yeah, it was a phenomenal bet. So that's a massive game this Saturday night for the Western Bulldogs. But then it's like you've got Port Adelaide coming to Marvel, and we love Port Adelaide's record at Marvel, and they did the job on the weekend against Richmond. Then they play North Melbourne. Then they've got Freo coming across. Then they've got Collingwood, and then they travel to Sydney against the Swans, and the Swans did an absolute number on them last year. And then I could even throw in the 7th game. It's against Essendon. I believe it's at the MCG. Just have to confirm that now. It's at Marvel as well. So that's a really tough 6-7 weeks coming up for the Western Bulldogs. They're $1.25 to make the finals. They're $2.50 to miss. I am absolutely all over that $2.50 for them to miss the finals. I said at the start of the season, I think they're no good. I still believe it, despite what their record is at the moment. I'm going to ride this one to the absolute death. They're 7-4, but they are not. You look at some records, you're like, oh, that's a good 7-4. It is not a good 7-4, similar to St Kilda.
Wow. It's a big call. I don't mind it.
Yep.
I'll also pay it. All right, quick one. Rate my multi.
Oh, here we go.
It is just a Game 7 multi.
Yeah.
I've talked about most of these legs. Miami Heat plus 7.5, under 203 points. Jaylen Brown, 20 plus. He came, in a nice little stretch of form in Game 6. Jason Tatum, 8+ rebounds. He's the only one who's actually putting up double-digit rebounds most of the time for this Celtics team. Jason Tatum, 30+ points. As I said, elimination game Tatum. Jimmy Butler to score 30+ points. That might be my downfall. I'm not worried. I'm a little bit worried about that one. The over 7.5 points for Al Horford.
Yeah.
Bang. And the under 13.5 for Gabe Vincent. I think he had 6 of 18 shooting last game. Not ideal. Still dealing with an ankle injury. $161.08.
Oh, I reckon the 203s, I reckon we're going to get like a 104, 100 just to really screw with us.
Yeah, it does feel a bit fanciful if I'm going to go Butler 30 plus and Tatum 30 plus for the under to actually hit. So I feel like the safer option there is Butler 25 plus, Tatum probably 25 plus too, and that'd knock it down pretty substantially, as you might expect.
Yeah.
But either way, I don't mind those. When if I pull the 25 instead of the 30s, let's do it. It's still $92.57.
Yep, I like it.
That's a 10 out of 10. That's a 10 out of 10. All right. Rate my multi. I just rated it myself. Right, that's it for Go Bet Daily for today. We'll be back on deck tomorrow. I believe we have a State of Origin special.
Full State of Origin. That's all we're talking about. So we'll probably have to do that at 9 a.m. so you and Phil can both watch the basketball.
Checks out. So get right around the show. Subscribe on your podcast app. Like, review, and star it. We've obviously got the AFL and NRL shows this week as well. No EPL show because that's it. Season's done. Alex has got one less show to do.
So does Gerald, more importantly.
I reckon we'll start making you do just the tennis show. French Open starting as well. Either way, like, review, star us, and check follow across all the socials for CodeBet. You can find us at YouTube, Facey, IG, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, all that good stuff. Send any questions, comments, rate our multi. Go nuts. But there you go. Awesome. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, good stuff. Nice and early.
Thanks to Gerald, as always, for producing and getting this all organised. He does a great job. And thanks to me for still having a screwed up foot, but, being a tough guy and getting through it.
And importantly, you owe me a sandwich.
I do. I did lose a sandwich bet because my beloved Carlton were absolutely horrible on Friday nights.
It was such a bad game to watch.
It stank. It stank. Anyway. All right. What do we say, Alex?
Gamble responsibly.
All right. May all your picks come in. Happy punting. We'll catch you tomorrow. Go Bet Daily. Out.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.